Hello again, everyone. It's Colleen with Artwork by Colleen. Today I'm going to make a kaleidoscope cane that's going to turn into a snowflake. For this, I'm only going to use two colors. I'm going to use black and I'm going to use translucent. I went ahead and added glitter to both the black and the translucent. So what I'm doing is making one of these triangles, and then I'm going to thin out the piece of clay and turn it into 6 triangles and then put them all together to make this snowflake. It's a pretty easy process. I'm kind of doing the same way that I make a character cane, which is sort of like filling in the blanks. I'm putting the translucent clay first, and then when I'm putting the black inside of the cane, I'm doing the full thickness of the black because I want it to come out kind of thick. On the side pieces where they're going to all join, then I'm only putting a thinner layer of clay because I don't want it to be too thick on that side of it. So it's just a matter of, like I said, just putting the pieces together, similar to the way I do a character cane. So the thinner clay that I put in, I first had rolled it down to like a 4 and put it on, but then I started thinking about it. And I realized that when I start reducing this down, which is going to have to be reduced down a considerable amount, considering I have to turn that little piece there into 6 pieces, I thought it'd be better to double that. So maybe instead of doing 2 4s, maybe put it on like maybe just a 2 or something like that to reduce it down through the pasta machine. But here you can see I'm just doing like I would, just building a single piece, and hopefully it's going to come out and look just like the snowflake does in the center of here. It's not too complicated. If you have a better way, if you want to just eyeball it and put it together, obviously you're welcome to do that. This is just the way I'm doing it. My one concern was that I kept that black piece that's sort of the point of the, well, I'll call it an arrow, sort of the point of the triangle, to make sure that the black went all the way to the bottom, because I'm going to encircle this or put the bottom piece a solid black as well, because if you look at the whole picture, it's actually going to eventually become a set of earrings. I'm going to make, every year for Christmas, I usually try to design a new style of earrings. A lot of people that I work with at Disney enjoy my designs, and they have a lot of my earrings that they wear. So I try to come up with something new for each holiday season. And I don't know, I just thought the snowflake might be kind of a cute yet pretty simple idea. Once I finished filling in the rest of the translucent there to come to the edge of the circle, I went ahead and put the full thickness black across the bottom of it, and then I came with the thinner pieces that I doubled up. Like I said, I would end up putting maybe a 2 around the sides just so that it wasn't quite as thick. This process is going to take a little time, so I'm going to come back in little sections to show you what it looks like. As always, I always appreciate you guys' comments. If you have any ideas or comments that you'd like to put in, I always appreciate those. I also appreciate if you like the video to hit the like button. You can see here I finally reduced it out the entire amount. I tried to cut off the little edges that when you reduce it, that end up losing some of the edge pieces. And then here at this point, they're all put together. I'm just rolling it together a little bit to get it to my circle. And I'm actually really pretty happy with it. It's a very basic kaleidoscope, but it's also a pretty cute snowflake. I'm just showing you here, this is what I used, the ultra fine glitter for the translucent, and then also this black ultra fine glitter for the black ones. Obviously, glitter is not necessary because you don't really need it. Just a quick moment there. I wanted to show you real quickly that little piece that you just saw. I had some scraps left over when you saw me cut the edges off, so I put it together to see what it would look like for taking those same pieces and making them even smaller to do the ears. But if you notice from the picture, it was way too much black. When it was reduced that much, you really couldn't see any definition of a snowflake. So it was kind of good that I did that, because then it made me realize when I make this piece that I'm doing currently for the ear, that I would go ahead and make it a little less detailed. Then that way, once it's reduced way down as small as it's going to be, then it would still have some sort of a definition to it and look somewhat like a snowflake. So what I did was that first little triangle, which in hindsight I would have made a little bit bigger had I thought it through all the way. Anyway, I just sort of made a triangle of the translucent, and then I put little indentations on each side and put just a small little circle of clay in it. And you can see that each of the sides has a little small circle of clay, because if you look closely at the picture, and I don't know how closely you can see it, but it does kind of have like a little circular piece to it. And so it only needs it to go on the inside. Then I did cover it with the thinner clay. And then I'm going to go on and make the rest of the cane. What I did notice when I was making this smaller piece was that, honestly, I couldn't follow that pattern too much, because the way it was just kind of a zigzag. I don't know. Either I lost sight of it, which is entirely possible for me, but I also decided to just go my own way and make it kind of how I wanted. So all I did was add some pieces of the translucent clay and then put small little pieces of the black to go in part of the way. Ultimately, what it kind of ended up looking like when I finished the whole thing was sort of like a Christmas tree, which is not exactly the look I was going for. However, I think it's going to look okay once all the pieces get put together. Then once I have it built the way I wanted it to, then of course I came back with the clay, the thin clay, and I covered the whole thing with it. And now is going to be the process of reducing it out, which is just a tedious kind of process. I did make this one a little bit bigger, because when you do the ears, basically you have to do twice as much clay, because obviously you have to put 2 ears. Here I'm just matching the pieces to make it go together like I wanted it to do. I tried to match it both at the top and the bottom as best I could. And then it's just a matter of rolling it out really thin, really small. It's going to have to end up being bigger than the head itself. But honestly, I'm pretty happy with it. I went and rolled the head a little bit smaller because it was a little bit too big. So I don't know how well you're able to see that, but the finished product is there. I haven't baked them yet, of course, or anything, but that's the finished product. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have an awesome day.